Hi, it's Evan with Pittsburgh Central Vacuum. Today we're here in our showroom, and I wanted to do a deep dive video that goes over a lot of frequently asked questions about the Chameleon retractable hose system. So one of the questions we get asked the most often is, where does the hose go? You can tell it retracts back into the wall. At every Chameleon inlet, you open it up, you reach in here, and there's a hose in here, but where does the hose actually go? When we install the Chameleon system in your home, every inlet valve will have a dedicated tubing run that actually stores the hose. This tubing run consists of special fittings that are a long radius turn that allows the hose to very gently retract back into it. So instead of filling up the wall cavity or going into like a special box that has to be fit inside of a wall or may require special framing during construction, the installation is incredibly simple, very much like a pneumatic tube system at the drive-thru at your bank. When you put the cassette in and it vacuums the money into the teller, it's doing the exact same thing with your vacuum hose. And then whenever you're done, you put your hand over the end and it retracts back up inside. And the hose is stored quickly and safely right inside the central vacuum tubing. So next up in our frequently asked questions, we're often asked, well, how does the hose actually retract? Some people think it's a spring. Some people think there's like a mechanical motor that's pulling it back in. But it's actually really, really simple. It uses the actual suction from the central vacuum unit to retract the hose back inside of the wall. So what that means is as long as you have good suction power, the hose is going to easily retract. To use the system, you just pull the hose out of the wall. Chameleon is unique in having two different locking mechanisms. You can either have it lock automatically at the end of the hose when you're doing your big scheduled cleaning. It's really simple, very intuitive, just pull until it stops. Or if you're just doing a quick cleanup, you can lock it at any point and turn the system on. Whenever you're done doing your cleaning, you leave the system running, unlock the hose, and then when you put your hand over the end, the suction that you were using to clean your floor is now grabbing onto the hose and pulling it back into the wall, which you'll see here. So you put your hand over the end, and it goes away just like that. Chameleon's also designed where with the switch built into the inlet valve here, as soon as you dock the hose into place, once it's done retracting, it will shut the system off automatically, so you never have to worry about leaving the unit running by accident. So next, one of the questions we're asked very frequently is, what if it clogs, or will it clog? And so the Chameleon system is built very, very well, and it is actually designed to make it extremely hard to clog up the system. So first, starting here at the handle, which you're actually holding onto while you're vacuuming, it has, if you look at the side profile, a very sharp 45-degree angle built into it. And what that does, if you were to pick up something like a pen or a pencil, it will get stuck in the handle. So you're vacuuming, push the hose underneath the bed, hear something go up the wand, pick up a pen by mistake, it's gonna be easy for you to remove yourself. You just reach into the hose handle, knock it loose, and you're good to go. But what about something like a sock or a necktie even that would make its way through here? What if it gets stuck in the hose? So the way the system is set up, you start here with a smaller attachment size opening. It then goes to a larger 1.25" hose. And it goes 1.25" all the way back to the wall inlet valve, where it then transitions into a 2-inch pipe. So you're going from small to large, and you have a 2-inch pipe running all the way to the main vacuum unit. Since it's never reducing back down again, it makes it incredibly hard once something enters the hose here to ever get stuck in the hose and not make its way through the system to the vacuum unit. Now, if it was a rare instance of something were to be stuck in here, most likely place for that to happen would be at the end of the hose, which can be pulled all the way out. You can take it to your vacuum unit, plug it in reverse, and unclog it. Worst case scenario is quickly with a service call, we use another high-powered vacuum and reverse the suction power on the system and pull whatever was in there right back out again. Okay, so finally, one of the questions we get asked quite a bit is the Chameleon system repairable and serviceable? A central vacuum system is installed inside of your house. When you move in, all you see is these nice cover plates. They blend into any decor. You can paint them, wallpaper them. They're really inconspicuous. But there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes. And what you often don't see is the actual working of the valve and all of the engineering that's inside of this to make it so durable. The big thing is you have the actual outer box or outer shell of the inlet valve, which is screwed onto the stud using either of these flanges, and all the internal components inside of it are actually removable. So starting off like with the actual vacuum hose, the part that you're gonna be twisting and pulling around corners and edges. If you have dogs, they may end up chewing it someday. You may end up needing to replace a hose at some point. The nice thing is you just twist and the hose comes right out. It's not permanently installed within the wall. It makes it very, very serviceable and easy to take care of. It also allows you to clean the hose, or using the Chameleon's unique cam port system, you can unplug this, and if you have a standard system already existing in your home, take this hose out, plug it into a regular inlet valve, and you can use your retractable hose in the other valves. Moving on from the hose, up top here, you have the switch mechanism, and this turns the vacuum system on and off. It has a cantilever built in, so whenever you click the hose into place, it automatically shuts the vacuum off, so that way you can't leave it running whenever all the inlet valves are closed, and you can't leave it on by mistake. And then down here, you have the locking mechanism, both the intermediate lock that allows you to lock the hose at any length, and the automatic locks that are two heavy-duty nylon locking pins that are located inside the inlet valve neck here, which you can see in this area. Cool thing about that is if any of these components ever wear out and need replaced, you can easily 4 screws. This entire ramp assembly and lock assembly lifts right out of here, and the entire system can be serviced. So the only thing that's permanently installed behind the wall is the actual frame, which really doesn't have any repair parts to it. Everything else is completely modular. You can pull it out, easily repair it, and keep your system running for the life of your home.